Well, hello there. Welcome back. Sunday morning, Open Pagan Church. Hope everybody is enjoying your weekend. I know here in north central Texas we've been getting rain and more rain and more rain. Well, of course, typical to north central Texas, in about a month, we won't see any rain for 3 months. And then we'll be complaining because we're not getting any rain. Yeah, well, still a little bit of a cough, but much better than I was last week. Body seems to take a little longer these days to get over this stuff. Go figure. Right, so um, we're going to start doing things just a little bit different. I posted in House of Pagans this morning. Um, Open Pagan Church now has a email address. It's openpaganchurch@gmail.com. It is posted in the description for Open Pagan Church. Also, we will start doing, towards the end of the broadcast, we'll start doing community news, things that have happened throughout the week in the pagan community. So if you have something that you would like to be announced that's newsworthy, that I can check out and verify, then we'll be happy to talk about it, spend a minute talking about it towards the end of the video. Also, we'll be doing public service announcements if anybody has any events. I know that we are heavily connected with the Pagan Circle in Liberty, Dallas area Pagans, and several other pagan organizations. So if you have anything that you'd like to be talked about or posted on the newsreel or set for the open events, email them to me if you would. Don't PM them, don't IM them, don't Facebook them. Email them to openpaganchurch@gmail.com. If you have trouble remembering the email address, openpaganchurch@gmail.com. Anyway, that being said, we're going to get on with it. What is our topic? Well, our topic, we've been kind of sort of building up to this over the preceding weeks with our other topics. What it essentially comes down to is a disconnected society. Yeah. Some of you may be saying, but with the internet, we're 3 times more connected. We are 3 times more interactive. Well, yeah, you're right. But let's think about what we're also doing. Now, I'm not going to jump up and down and beat the gavel about the evils of social networking. That's rather apparent. We have disconnected society. Society no longer goes next door and has coffee with the neighbor. Society no longer picks up a telephone and calls a relative and says, hey, wanted to hear your voice. How are you today? What's going on in your world? No, that's not the way we do it anymore. We pick up one of these. It's called a keyboard. Everything is done now either on a keyboard or on a QWERTY keyboard cell phone or mobile device, tablet if you will. When reading posts on Facebook, Twitter, Witchbox, whatever, mostly, and I was kind of laughing the other night as I was getting the topic ready for church today, as I was kind of flipping through Facebook, kind of trying to make my point. Mostly all you see nowadays is memes. little pictures with little funny jokes in them. Well, they're cute. I'm notoriously guilty of the sharing of the meme, if you will. And the three of us sit around in the evening sometimes and giggle at some of the memes and the little short snippet videos that come along with them. Well, here's the thing. Society has become disconnected. And let's think about this for a moment. As many of you know, my daughter's 13. Her idea of communication is sitting in her bedroom and sending text back and forth to me and her mama. When dinner is ready, neither of us, I'm guilty of it, neither of us get up and walk across the house and tap on the door and open the door and say, hey, dinner's ready, come on. Well, kids have always and forever, I did it, held up in their bedrooms. But there were also things to do. We went outside, we played, we got dirty, we interacted with other children. Occasionally, we would have a day of lay on our butts and watch TV. Well, prior to TV, kids didn't do that. Kids actually had to, oh my goodness, socially interact with other human beings. If you take a look at what's going on today, it's really almost sad. Well, here we go. I saw a meme earlier where it says in the 1940s, 18 to 25-year-olds went out, they fought for their country, they gave their life for the freedom of whatever country they lived in, whether it was America, whether it was Britain, whether it was whatever country they lived in. They got out and they partied with the rest of their chums. They got out and they interacted with society. Now, in 2019, as the meme said, colleges are required to have a safe room where young people can go into and get away from offensive terms. Yes, you heard me correct. People today are offended. Good morning. Social networking and the lack of empathy, and that's a very, very, very strong word. Empathy. Society has lost and is losing at a rapid pace the ability to empathize, not sympathize, but empathize with other people. They're losing the art of communication, the gift of gab, something I've never really been short of. I've been accused of having too big a gift to gab. But let's think about this. I live in a society now where even the house I live in is more interested in playing a video game, playing on the internet, um, or doing things on Facebook or watching videos on YouTube than they are to get out and meet more pagans, get involved in events, pick up the family and go to a barbecue somewhere or get involved with society. I grew up involved in society. All right, if you're posting in Facebook chat, don't. I'm not going to see it. If you're watching live, please post in the live channel. So, what do we do with a society with no empathy? What do we do with a society where there's no communication anymore? People don't talk. Here's what people do. And every once in a while, you'll get this, and every once in a while somebody will go, I have my games I like to play. Okay. But we've become a diversified, disconnected. And some of you might say, well, no, our problem is we're too connected. Well, no. Here's the thing. As a pagan, I firmly believe that every spirit, in one way or the other, is connected to other spirits. That everything of Mother Earth is connected to everything else. That no matter what part of the earth you're on, you are still connected to the singularity. In being connected to the singularity, I am connected to someone in Japan, someone in Russia, someone in, I don't know, let's bite the taboo, North Korea. I don't know. But everything on the planet is connected to everything else, and everything that has or commits a cause has an effect further down the road. Sorry, my voice still does get a little hoarse. Hot coffee. Cure what ails you, or kill what cures you. One of the two. So what do we do? How do we how do we get that back? Like Clint says, we're not connected in the what? I think he's trying to say physiological context. True. But everything on the planet is connected to everything else in one way, shape, form, or fashion. Now, what happens if you put yourself in a box, right? What I call cubicle mentality. What happens if you put yourself in a box and you never, ever come out of that box? The entire world is going on around you. Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, sorry. I got sidetracked. The world is going on around you, and you're not a part of it. And you're sitting there in your box, in your cubicle, and all of a sudden, you might walk outside one day to go to the grocery store, and the neighborhood around you has been torn down, and there's an eviction notice on your front door stating that your neighborhood has been condemned and is being torn down. Now, you wouldn't know this because you never open your door. You never go outside your door. We have become a society that we order in our groceries, right? I know a lot of people, not because they can't. Right? There's a difference between can't go grocery shopping and won't. Now, I absolutely love the fact that we can internet in an order to Walmart, and then one of us can pick it up on our way home, or like Camille did this morning. She got up early and went to Walmart and picked up the grocery order. She didn't actually have to walk all the way through the store when she doesn't feel well. Hey, rock and roll. But there are more and more people that are ordering in their grocery orders. Front door delivery. That's a disconnection. Because I remember when I was younger, I used to walk through the grocery store doing grocery shopping. For those of you that may not know what that is, you get out of the house, you actually go to the grocery store and you walk up and down the aisles. And you actually put things in a buggy. And you go to the checkout and you pay. Nowadays we swipe an ATM card, but you still pay some kind or another. But what are you doing? You're interacting with society. Now, you may be completely engrossed in your grocery list. You may be you may be one of those that walks through the grocery store pushing a buggy while texting on your phone and can't understand why you run into center post and knock things off of shelves. I've seen people do that. That's absolutely funny. But it goes back again to prove the point. We have become and are becoming a disconnected society. How do we get that back? Well, at home is where it starts. You start by putting this down. Put it down. I'm not talking about all the time. I'm talking about for an hour and a half or 2 hours in the evening. Whether, and I may get jumped on for this, but whether you live alone or you live in a family setting or you live in a roommate setting household, if you live alone, I understand the loneliness because I've been there. But I also found that, and I suck at reading. Anybody that knows me knows my reading comprehension. Um, I can pick up a book and read it, and when I flip the page to go to the next page, I have forgotten what's on the other page. I envy you people that can remember an entire freaking book. But anyway, read a book. And as depressing as it may seem, and as stupid as it may sound to you, pick up a newspaper. Read the news. And I'm not going to get started on the different news agencies and what is it they say nowadays, fake news. I'm just not even going to get into that. Or start researching your own spiritualism. You claim to be one thing, but the only thing you know is what you've seen on Facebook. And, well, there are some really good groups on Facebook, but there's also some relatively twisted philosophies, if you will. Well, a lot of people say my philosophies are twisted. Eh, they may be. I like my twisted philosophies. They're up there with me, slightly twisted. But what do we do? Well, in a global digital society that is growing exponentially by the hour, 10 years ago it was growing exponentially by the day. 20 years ago it was growing exponentially by the month. Now, in 2019, the global community, the internet community, the World Wide Web, is a living, growing thing. And I guess I could get a little out there and say, it's taking over the minds of our young ones. No. Well, yeah, but no. It's also taking over the minds of our older ones. Digital devices are an easily addictive thing. They give us a place of focus. Okay? Now let's talk about what has caused the world society to become disconnected. It's not the cell phone, okay? It's not the computer. It's not the keyboard. It's not the mouse. It's not television. Those things have not caused us to become disconnected. What society has become has caused the disconnection. Remember in the 70s and 80s, and especially in the 90s, where TV becomes such a big thing, parents, many parents, would tell their kids, don't bother me right now, go watch TV. I'm busy, don't talk to me, go watch TV. So these are kids, right? So we're shaping and molding these children to become parents. So we told them, don't bother me, go watch TV. Not, I'm a little busy right now, go outside and play. I never told my children, don't bother me, unless I was joking with them or we're jacking around. But when my daughter comes to me with an issue, I stop what I'm doing, or I say, give me just a moment, just one moment. And I will either pause, quit, lay down, put up, whatever I'm doing, and I listen. Parents haven't done that in a very long time. So what we're experiencing today with, I would say, 25-year-olds, some 30-year-olds, and down to my daughter's generation, is a disconnected society. They don't know how to socially interact. They were told, go watch TV. Why don't you go play on your tablet? You're bothering me. I've even heard parents say when we lived down south, when we had 100 and something people coming to circle, I heard a parent tell their child once, I'm busy getting ready for circle. Go play. And I looked at this individual and I said, do you have any idea how bad you're screwing up with that child? What? My job. You tell me how to run my job. Well, no, you're right. It's your kid. You can screw them up if you want. But hear me out. If you don't take time for your kid and you don't take a minute to listen, you are raising parents of the future that are going to raise disconnected kids. That's where we're at. Welcome to 2019. We have become, and we are seriously becoming, a very, very disconnected society. And it's not, you can't blame the alcohol for an alcoholic becoming an alcoholic. You cannot blame the drug for a drug addict becoming a drug addict. Some would say, well, if you take it away from them and they can't get it, then they have no choice but not to be a drug addict. No, on the contrary, they're still a drug addict. They're still an alcoholic. They are still an internet-aholic. They are still a digital device addict. Whether you take it away from them or not, they're still an addict. You have to be willing to do the things that are required to help them come off of it. And I've been known to tell my daughter, if you don't put the damn phone down and get your head on what's going on, I'm going to throw it in the trash. Now, we pay for it. We pay for it. We're still paying for it. But that's okay because my kid, our kid, is not going to grow up to be a mindless mush that has no idea of how to interact with society. Unless she makes that choice on her own, in which case it's her bad. I'll go to sleep at night with a good conscience. People ask me, don't you get afraid to do public speaking? I mean, I've done psychic fairs, I've done healing seminars, workshops, um, public drumming for the Ren Fair. I've done public spiritual counseling at fair when I go and set up the tent and people come by and they just sit and talk. And I tell them, sure, when I'm setting up for a show, when I'm setting up for these broadcasts and I'm getting everything lined out, there's a lot to it. I always get, even after all of these years, I still get a little wrinkly in the tingly and a little mumbly in the tumbly just before I click go live. Because there's always that little tiny fear that I'm going to click start streaming and my brain is going to go blank. And when the camera comes on, I'm going to be sitting here going, and have absolutely no idea what the hell I'm going to talk about. Well, if that day ever comes, and I'm quite sure it will, I will quit broadcasting. But no, when I used to stand up in front of a circle full of 100 people, or even 50 people, 25, 30, 2, I was always more comfortable in a circle with 20 plus people than I was in a circle of 2 or 3. That's just like open pagan church and live with the shaman that we do at 11. I have more fun when I'm not doing all the talking. When I've got chats rolling over here where people are interacting and they're communicating with each other. I mean, somebody's learning something. Cool. So, I mean, we truly are a disconnected society. And I can sit here 33 minutes into the broadcast and I can come up with ideas and theories and thoughts and philosophies and we should do this and we should do that. At the end of the day, it's on you. Yes, you. Whichever you gets paranoid because you think I'm talking strictly, specifically about you. Well, I might. I may be. I might can see through your computer and see you. No, just kidding. Never got into webcam hacking. Why? My thought is there's a lot of people out there that do a lot of things I just don't want to see. And that might sound weird coming from somebody like me. Yeah, I hear you, some of you out there giggling. So, what can we do to better connect our kids? Well, we can interact with them in spite of themselves. A couple of hours each evening, we can say no. put your device down, close the laptop. How was your day? What happened during the day? What have you been up to? What's going on in your world? And you will find it absolutely gobsmacking that these kids won't want to talk. Oh, it's okay. Well, what happened at school? Nothing. How are your grades? Oh, they're okay. I passed my math test. And they're almost like they're afraid to look at you. And I'm like, okay, I'm big and fuzzy, but I'm not deadly. Hell. And it's funny because I think back on it. Now, I understand, when I was 13, oh, yes, I was 13 once. That was a long time ago. But at 13, yeah, um, we had TV, we had stereo. But other than that, we did actually have a push button phone. I thought that was cool. Sometimes I'd pick up the phone and just to hear the tones. I got in trouble for a couple of long distance phone calls I didn't mean to make. But, you know, I was 13. I knew it all. I was 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Couldn't tell me anything. I'm a teenager. Yeah, well, thought I was grown. Yep, vapor alert. But I went outside and I played with my friends. And at some point during my childhood, people started coming to me and asking me for my advice. What the hell are you coming to me for? I'm a kid. You're an adult. You're supposed to know this shit. I had adults asking me what I think. Scared the hell out of me the first couple of times it happened. But you know, at 57 years old, I ask my daughter her opinion all the time. Yesterday we installed a new stove. I said, what do you think? What's your opinion? How do you feel about this? I like a younger person's opinion when I'm doing something because they're going to give a fresher insight on it. Now, all of this that I'm babbling about right now that you may think has absolutely nothing to do with anything to do with the topic, actually it has everything to do with it. Interact with young people. And by interact, I don't mean smack them on the head. Well, those paper towels just jumped right out of my hand. I don't mean smack them on the head and tell them to go away and watch TV. I threw my damn paper towels on the floor. So anyway, don't look at your children and tell them go away and leave me alone. I'm busy. Look at your children and say, I'm in the middle of something. I will be with you shortly. Or if what you're doing is not truly mind-numbingly important, pause it. Put it down. Minimize it. Close the laptop. Turn off the damn monitor if you have to. If you're on a desktop computer and you're sitting there gaming, pause the damn game. Listen to your kids. Take the time to work with them on doing things. Hey, pagans out there, volunteer for youth groups. whether they're pagan or not. Get involved. We need to help push the younger generation away from the lack of empathy and the disconnected society. We do. A lot of them are too far gone, bless their hearts. But maybe if we lead by example, wow, there's a novel concept. Get off of your duff and get out and meet people. There are those that have psychological issues that can't, and okay, I'm not talking to you. There are people that have physical disabilities that they literally cannot leave the house. Okay, I'm not talking to you either. You people get involved on the internet. But don't lose track of empathy. Don't become part of the problem. Every one of my uh, shaman students are required once or twice a month to pick up a phone and call me. I want to hear your voice. I don't want to read your text. I don't want to read a 50-page email. Holy crap. 50-page email, I forget what was in the first paragraph by the time I get to the third paragraph. But if you tell me something, I almost never forget it if I hear you. You know, I have selective hearing, you know. Eh? What? Eh? What? Eh? So that really is about all I can beat on this topic. We live in a disconnected society, and ladies and gentlemen, it is getting worse. The only possible way I can think of to make it better is to step out from behind your offended nature, get your chip off of your shoulder, your heart off of your sleeve, take the chip and throw it in the damn trash, put your heart back in your damn chest, and become a part of society. Now, in admittance and in retrospect, over the last 3 or 4 years, my health, my wife's health, and our money situation has not been where we could really get out and do much of anything. I'm hoping that over the next month, with some of the appointments, doctor's appointments I have, if I don't go broke paying for the damn things, um, I will be able to get me back on an even keel where I can at least walk further than from here to the end of the house without being winded. Take the trash out without feeling like I've just run a mile. Hopefully we can start getting out more and finding a local pagan community to hang with. But you have to do the same. Work on reconnecting with society. Not your job, not even people with your job. People of like mind. You could take that wrong too, but people of like mind. People who have the same beliefs that you do. Close. Kind of. Almost. If we as a people do not start becoming connected again we're going to lose what little bit of empathy we have left. Clint makes a real good point. And I'm not going to read it to you. If you're watching the pre recorded broadcast, I'm going to make you go to the chat area and read it if you want to know. Right. So, this is the end of our topic for the day. And the best advice I can give is get out and meet people. Yeah, okay, meet people on the internet, but say, hey, let's get together for coffee. You know, if you're in a group of pagans and some of them just might be within 10 or 15 miles of you, oh my God, God forbid somebody get in an automobile and drive 15 miles. Holy hell. Wow. Hmm. So, now for the news. Guess I could really be cheesy and do the old 1970s news introduction. Now in local news. No, I'm just kidding. In the Dallas area last week, one of the leaders here in the pagan community, a very wonderful young man, he does a lot for the community. He's the administrator of the Dallas area pagans. If you want to, hashtag Dallas area pagans and give him some love. He was physically assaulted last week because he is pagan and he's gay. I don't know all of the hardcore particulars because it's not my place to say. But slip over to Dallas area pagans and read his post and look at the pictures. They're disheartening, they're angering, they're infuriating because this woman physically assaulted him in the name of Christianity. That does not make all Christians mad. Bad. Doesn't make all Christians bad. But what this woman did is a hate crime and it is a felony in Texas. It's a felony in America. It should be a felony globally. But she physically choked him. And he's a very sick young man. Physically sick. So if you muddle over to Dallas area pagans, give him some love. Because he could use a little uplifting, kind words right now from the pagan community. And not just the Dallas pagan community. I looked around, I poked around for some other pagan news, and of course this is our first newscast at the end of the program, so that was the first one that come up. Now for a public service announcement. This one's kind of cool. I don't know if anybody ever watches the History Channel, but there's a program called Forbidden History. Oh, you ought to YouTube it. Oh, you ought to YouTube Forbidden History. It is a absolute phenomenal program. Comes on the History Channel. And I watched a program the other day on Forbidden History called, what was it called? See, I told you, I got a memory like a sieve. Secrets of the Vatican. Secrets of the Vatican. And the reason I thought it was newsworthy is because they interview several pagan authors in that program where the pagan authors draw parallels that Vatican City is built on top of an ancient pagan holy site. You may not have known that, but you can check it out. I haven't seen any up and coming events. Of course, I didn't look real hard either. So if you have anything going on, oh, by the way, public service announcement. Today is Doris's birthday. Doris has been a member of the Pagan family, um, wow, for a long time. Happy birthday, Doris. If you have any birthday announcements, anniversary announcements, um, obituaries, marriages, um, anniversary, I think I already said that. If you have any announcements or news, pagan news, don't get political with me. Send them to us in email. openpaganchurch@gmail.com. I look forward to hearing from you. I hope you have a really good week. Thank you for watching. And we'll see you next week right here on Open Pagan Church. Have a great day.